You got to remember all the learning curves and all the beat downs you had, and without humility, you can't grow as a person. That's what Humble Beginnings represents to me. That's the full meaning to it. It's just learn, 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 and to give back, and to just build yourself as a better person. Tattoo came from the Samoan word tatau, T-A-T-A-U, and that was to tap. To tap is tatau. That's where the original word came from. My name is Orly Locquiao, born in Philippines, Pangasinan, Urdaneta. Came here when I was 2 years old, raised in East Side, San Jose. Humble Beginnings started as a graffiti crew. HB represented different things. They represented like Heartburn, Heaven Bound. Humble Beginnings was the name I came up with because of my upbringing. You know, tattooing from the garage, living on the East Side, you know, growing up in the struggle. And I just always wanted to represent that. I always wanted to never forget where I came from. My dad joined the United States Navy. He brought us over from the Philippines when I was about 2 years old. He was in the Navy for about 4 years, and then after that, he was on and off at work, working in the electronics field in Silicon Valley Electronics and building semiconductor chips. And then from there, when he would get laid off, he was working in the farms, working in the fields with my other uncles, just to make ends meet. For me, growing up in the 80s here in San Jose was pretty difficult because not a lot of children or young adults were too familiar with the Filipino culture, so Chinese was mainly what I was called growing up. I had a diverse amount of friends, you know, mostly Mexican and Filipino, of course, because I related to them, but my block was Vietnamese and Mexican. I didn't mind running the streets at night and trying to be socially accepted with my friends. So growing up in San Jose really reflects, you know, the brand, and really reflects Cukui and Humble Beginnings and me as a person. But I didn't accept all that, and I didn't learn and open my eyes to all that until I moved out of San Jose. I just needed to keep on growing, and I just bought a plane ticket, 2 boxes, a suitcase, and $150 in my pocket. And I started my journey in Hawaii. Learning about the Filipinos in Hawaii that work the fields and work the plantations, and our culture there, that a lot of the migrant workers and that still live in the plantation house, like my grandma still lives in a plantation house there. Learning the culture there and learning being a Filipino in Hawaii. So living in Chicago for a certain amount of years and living in Hawaii a certain amount of years, especially Hawaii, when I really opened my eyes to my own culture and to the cultures that surround me. And since growing up in a mixed culture, I wanted to show and represent that in my brand. I didn't know what it was going to be called. I didn't know where I was going to do it. I just knew that I was going to open a shop and just build it around my experiences. I was was like, oh man, I'm not working, I'm not doing anything, I don't know what's going on, and I'm not watching my money correctly, and all the people I was tattooing at home don't want to get a tattoo from me at the shop now. There'd be times I'd make a decent amount of money, and then there'd be a couple days I wouldn't work at all. And for me to keep on going was just not letting myself down, not letting my friends and family down. But that motivation was just not to quit. You know, I quit so many other things, I quit so many other jobs in my life. And to fulfill this dream that I have of owning a small business, by any means necessary, I had to keep it open. And that was just the hustle hard and just work. Then the crew started building from there. Then I realized, like, okay, we can do this, we can make this happen. We can be an established shop and just see where it goes from there.
In San Jose, California, Orly Locquiao's name created a stir among NFL fans when Colin Kaepernick announced that he added another tattoo. Locquiao described the pattern ink as a Banik-inspired pattern and Polynesian mold that symbolizes family and power. Locquiao, as a graphic artist, started his humble beginnings in his parents' garage. He has been in the ink business for 17 years. He says Kaepernick's visit is a boon for his businesses.
Orly Locquiao of Cukui Clothing in San Jose's Japantown designed the t-shirt and got Kaepernick's approval to sell it.
I believe my life and my purpose is to help people reconnect with their roots and to not necessarily help them find themselves, but to at least give them a jump start, console them and tell them, like, this is what your tattoo represents, this is what your tattoo means. And most people just tell me, like, I wanted to represent my family, I wanted to represent me as a person, I wanted to represent my growth as a person. When they get a tribal tattoo or they get a Polynesian tattoo or South Pacific tattoo, contemporary, traditional, you know, it's non-threatening. It's not a tattoo that's gonna threaten people. People are gonna look at it and take a step back. Most people come up to you and ask you, oh, what does your tattoo mean? People like to share their story. It has cultural identity to it. Tattoo for them represents their life, their struggle, their progress, their future, their past, their beginning.